All good with the camera?
Yeah.
How's the lighting? Decent?
Yeah.
Cool.
Not bad.
Do you want me to check that you're, we don't just get the back of your head when you're sat down as well?
Yes, and also if it goes lower.
Yeah, if you sit down then we'll see if we've got your head. Could have tilt it down. Yeah, okay. If I tilt it down, we'll just... I haven't got you on there, but I think if I tilt it down it will. You're fine. So you stand up.
Cool, all set? Right, so yeah, welcome. I kind of wonder what the heck I'm doing up here, but here we are. I am definitely not an expert when it comes to time management. I don't have a PhD or PhD or B or C, but I do have some really good and valuable tips and tricks that I've learned during my freelance career. Some of them might be a little unconventional, because I don't tend to keep a to-do list the way traditional people keep their to-do lists. So hopefully you'll find it different and might want to try it. But yeah, let's kick it off. I am gonna share a bunch of tips and tricks and apps and softwares. However, it really isn't about the tool. It truly is about the habit and applying yourself to whatever that is. What might work for me might not work for you. There's no cookie cutter in terms of time management and how to manage your time. It's just finding the thing that is right for you and your team. And it's not going to be like, you're not going to get out of here and be like, oh, my productivity exponentially, got raised after the workshop. No, you're going to have to apply yourself, and it's probably going to be like a slow start, and then you're going to see a big shift. So yeah, I'm going to just very quickly go over basically my tips on how to keep a to-do list, my tips on how to track your time, and my tips on how to track your projects. So when I was asked to do this by Sen for the Gold team, I was going over the presentation yesterday, and it was very, very kind of customized to them because I'm very familiar with what their strengths and weaknesses are. So I was kind of trying to change it so it fits to a more universal approach. So please do chip in with your own thoughts. It is a workshop. It's not me just talking. Hopefully, I do love to talk. I am my father's daughter, but do chip in with if you have any ideas. Or you're like, oh, actually, I have a better software, or we're using that. I know the operations team has started implementing some third-party softwares. So yeah, or if you just think this is complete bollocks, just scream, you sit down and throw flies, get out of here. So yeah. So yeah, my first tip is to obviously keep a to-do list, which is kind of duh. Obviously, you need to keep a to-do list. As I mentioned, I don't keep my to-do list as maybe a lot of people are used to. So I try to only have my high-value tasks on my to-do list. So when it comes to, and I'll explain a little later why, when it comes to small-value tasks like sending an email or just sending a file, I don't tend to put that on my to-do list because I get quite overwhelmed if my to-do list is way too long. So I want to make sure that my focus is always on the high-value tasks. So yeah, keeping a to-do list. When I structure my to-do list, and I have a process for it, but when I structure my to-do list, I make sure to structure it around my energy levels and not around how many tasks or how much time I have. Because what happens, every individual has a peak performance time, and it's very, very different and unique for all of us. My peak performance time is between 10 p.m. and 3 a.m. and really, really early in the morning, so that would be 5:30 to 11. Everything else I kind of get into a dip, so what I try to do is everything that is critical work and stuff that takes a lot of energy and a lot of decision, I try to kind of structure it between the times where I know that I perform the best. And that is actually called the golden time. So each of us have our individual golden time. It's up to you to figure out when you work the best, but for a lot of people that is in the morning, and the reason for that is on average an adult makes about 35,000 decisions a day. 10 to 20% of them are actually valuable decisions, decisions that are going to have an effect. The other 80% are at turning on a switch, or putting on socks, or whatever that is. So you want to make sure that, and I believe a lot of people work the best in the morning. So you want to make sure that when you get to work, the first thing you do is the task that actually takes critical thinking and proper decision making, and then everything else should be left on your when you're at a dip. So for me, example, when I have to think about a concept for a front cover, I'm gonna start doing that the first thing in the morning, because I'm not gonna be able to make those decisions and be creative when I'm at a dip. What I leave for the afternoon would be like laying out a journal, an article, because it's very on autopilot. There's really not a lot of questions. I don't have to think about decisions. It's just a copy paste. I can listen to a podcast while doing it. So I will do that when I know that I am at my lowest. Because you kind of want to keep your productivity on the same level, but then you just have to structure your energy. And the way I do that is through something called the 1-3-5 rule. And on the next slide, I'm going to go into a little bit more depth of what that means, but just let's leave it there for now. And when I write down my 1-3-5 rule, I make sure to write it at the end of the day. So when I come to work, I don't have to sit and waste my decision, because my decision bucket, I only have 35,000. I want to make sure that when I come into the office, I come in and I have a purpose. So I don't sit down and think about, what do I need to do today? Oh, I need to contact that person, and then there's a bunch of critical thinking, and it's wasting a lot of time. So yeah, just make your to-do list the last thing you do. That's a good tip. And yeah, going back to me not writing down my low value tasks, the reason for it, and this is completely unconventional, and probably every psychologist would probably say that this is wrong, you need to set aside admin time to do your admin. It doesn't work for me, so my rule is if it takes less than 10 minutes, just do it straight away. So if somebody contacts me and they want something done, or they want a small change, and I know it's going to take me less than 10 minutes, I'll stop what I do now. I won't multitask, but I'll stop what I do now, make sure that gets to that person, and then I'm done. Then my to-do list doesn't pile up. Again, this is very unconventional. A lot of people would argue and challenge me on it. It does work for me, and it again keeps me more focused on my high-value tasks.